Welcome everybody to the Yet to Be Named podcast. I'm your host, Bullex, and we're finally making another episode of this since it's taken us, a fucking month or something? Anyway, I'm joined once again by Vincent.
Hello.
I'm also joined by Anna.
Oh, hello.
And joined by Mr. Queer, weeaboo, furry person on roids.
Greetings, everyone.
Sick. Okay, so let's just jump into it then. Yeah, I know, okay. Exactly. If you've watched any of my videos, you know my intros are shit. Anyway, so should we just jump straight into the first topic, which is, I thought let's quickly touch on, just to get it out of the way, the Ricegum versus iDubbbz stuff. Because it's so old, let's just quickly get it out of the way.
Ricegum's a money hungry. Can't even speak English. He's a money hungry bitch, and that's it. That's all.
Basically,
yeah. It basically concludes it. I agree.
He'll just go over anything for views about 72 times, and it's quite clear now that anything that's going on, he doesn't actually care about that, and it's more just the money side because he can see numbers in his head.
Thing is, anything he says that in defense of himself just seems to get completely overdone because he's always flexing and he's just like, oh yeah, no, I really do care about my fans. No, you don't. You just care about the cash. Shut the fuck up and
I
move
care
on.
about my fans, he says, and then in every video, look at my 72 Rolls Royces. Look at my 8th floor house.
He's just a bit, yeah.
But can we just talk about, he made an entire video, not even an entire, he made a video pretty much calling out Markiplier for a 1 second little meme in Markiplier's video. And that's just, it's kind of sad that he's looking for that much drama that he has to dig for a 1 second clip to make an entire video on.
Yeah, but that's just proof that he just wants the views, essentially.
Yeah.
He does, yeah. And the thing is, another thing is what's his name? I've heard people talk about how iDubbbz just didn't construct his content cop very well and didn't do research and stuff. And okay, I get that. It wasn't quite as good as some of the others, like Leafy's one was quite good, and Keemstar, the one on Keemstar was quite good. But I understand that, but with someone like Ricegum, you don't really need an excellently crafted video to be able to destroy him, because he literally just basically gives you it, and he'd fucking asked for it anyway. Let's touch on the fact he asked for it and then got pissed off that it actually happened.
Well, true.
And it's just, he's not going to get destroyed from it. Like, people are always like, oh my god, Ricegum got destroyed. He's going to lose subs and stuff. He hasn't. It's not going to happen.
Well, no, his fans are too much of they're just sheep. As is the law. Oh, you flexing is fine, and then he'll flex, and then they'll, oh yeah, our little baby dicks are hard for this, and it's sad, honestly, how much he has them brainwashed.
And it's like what iDubbbz said, like he's Asian Jake Paul, and I totally agree with that, because Jake Paul is just one of those twats who'll just flex and stuff. And okay, maybe, just maybe, Ricegum might put a little bit more effort into his content than Jake Paul, but that's not hard. I mean, Jake Paul has a fucking problem. I don't know this for sure, I haven't researched, but I'm pretty sure he's got a fucking editor behind him.
Oh, for sure.
That would not surprise me.
But he does vlogs, so he doesn't need to edit, really.
He looks so stoned in every single vlog. There's no way he's editing any of his videos.
Well,
yeah.
Fair point.
Anyway, I think we've done enough on that topic.
Yeah, I think so.
So another one I wanted to move on to was controversy surrounding microtransactions, particularly loot boxes, and the massive fuck off rise that has been happening recently in the video game industry. Particularly, I mean, the one that's been beaten to death is Shadow of War, obviously, which we talked about in the last podcast, me and Vincent, which was shitty in my opinion, but like most people did say that. I haven't played the game personally. I've got two friends who've played it extensively, and they said, it really doesn't force you to buy them anywhere through the game until the end game, where it all gets really hard and you lose orcs, whatever. I just went on a rant on that. I don't really want to talk about that game. One thing I do want to talk about is Call of Duty World War II, which I recently bought, and I actually quite enjoyed, but I can't get over the fact when you first, in the multiplayer, when you first go to that new headquarters place, which is quite cool, but it's just basically the tower from Destiny and that kind of thing. Literally, you get given these sort of starting objectives sort of thing to get familiar with the headquarters, and the first one is something like pick up some points from a vendor or something. Anyway, the third one is call in a supply drop. There are 3. There's so much to do in the headquarters, but there are 3, and the third one is call in a supply drop. And I just saw that and I thought, that just doesn't sit right with me, you know? It's like, one of the most important parts of this place is you can call in supply drops, and guess what else you can do? You can buy... Well, you can't buy supply drops yet, but it's COD, it's Activision, they're gonna make you buy them.
Well, yeah, because every company needs money and that's their way of profiting, and it's sad in a way, but...
There was a reason...
That's the thing.
Go ahead.
No, sorry, go on, Vincent.
Yeah, there was a recent article in Eurogame, I believe, where they concluded that like 70% of like a company's revenue by 2020 will be from microtransactions.
It will be.
Yeah.
That's only because, you know, if it keeps going the way it's going now, it really will be, and that's just really, really sad. Like, there was that ridiculous statistic from I don't know who found it, but EA, I think they announced in their, you know, their shareholders meeting or whatever, they announced that they get, I think it was $800 million a year from FIFA Ultimate Team. From just people buying these packs.
This
isn't game sales.
Me, because it's like people get like attached to games and will do anything to get more or make their experience better. So all companies are going to try and put on as many of these microtransactions as they can, knowing that people are going to milk them. And that's where a lot of their income comes from.
That's the thing, though. Yes, a lot of it does. And they're always complaining. Like, lots of people defend it. Like, oh, the reason they're doing it is because they don't make enough money from actually selling the game. They've got to put on, you know, they've got to get pre-orders with the pre-order bonuses. They've got to have DLC, all that shite. But the thing is, microtransactions aren't required. Like, before Call of Duty, I mean, Ghosts, okay, I didn't like the game. I fucking hated the game personally. But they added 2 new guns in their first 2 DLCs, I think, and you could literally, I think, a month after the DLCs were released, you were allowed to buy the gun completely separately. You didn't have to buy the whole DLC. You could just buy the gun, and that's what I did back when I was like 12 or something. But yeah, no, it was a much better system, in my opinion.
Exactly, and another thing you should keep in mind is there are like good and bad versions, ways of doing microtransaction. Where you have Overwatch, for example, which is great, and then we have Black Ops 3, which was a less perfect experience considering they added things that changed the gameplay, and I don't think they should be doing that. They should just do purely cosmetic stuff. That's okay.
Yeah, cosmetics only is a good thing.
The thing is also the way they've done. I was looking at Cold World War 2. I was looking through all this stuff, and they've done some. You've heard about those? What are they called? Those patents that Activision put out. Have you heard about those? Filed for these patents. Oh, okay. Well, you're in for a treat then. Activision filed for a patent in 2015. I think it was 2 patents in 2015, and they've just been discovered, sort of come to light. One of which was a matchmaking system that would pit a new player who maybe just bought the game or wasn't quite very good, didn't have many guns or whatever, or skins or whatever from the loot boxes and stuff, and it would pit them up against other players that were higher skill but also tended to use, for example, a weapon that you could get from supply drops. And what that would then do is you'd then keep getting killed by a player, probably the guy with the weapon that he got from supply drops, and then you'd see this and then you'd think, oh, this guy's really good. Oh, he's got this gun. Oh, I really want this gun now, and you buy the supply drops. It's a very insidious and underground way of trying to influence you to buy these supply drops. And then the idea is you'd then be factored into this algorithm again, because then if you did get the gun, you would then be classed up against people who are worse than you without that gun, and it's a fucking cycle, and it would keep happening like that.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's like, as you say, it's like one big cycle, and people will keep going for it because at the end of the day, when you find something like you're into, for example, stuff like this, you're going to want to keep getting better, and the kind of like thing of it goes, so it's like the money spent becomes less of a thing.
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
the real problem I think with that is it's the fact that it's not even your fault if you're going for the loot boxes or
exactly.
because it's quite literally it's completely under the radar, underground. You don't know it's happening, but they're just slowly. It's like, I know it's not quite on the same level, but it's like that form of advertising was banned. That was sort of every other frame, they'd shove in a sort of a little, like a message, some writing that said sort of buy this or something. And the idea was your brain you wouldn't consciously see it, but subconsciously your brain would be reading this message every other slide, and it would sort of then be ingrained into your brain that you should buy that, and it would influence how you thought. It's not on quite the same level, but in my opinion, it's still quite as insidious and just so disgusting.
It isn't the right way to do things. Definitely,
it really
not.
isn't. It's just so slimy. And Activision have said, "Oh, we haven't." They issued an official statement when this was found, saying, "Oh, we haven't implemented this into any games yet." They actually said "yet" at the end of it.
Oh, that's just...
It's just, and it's like
they said that this was an exploratory patent filed in 2015 by an R&D team working independently from their game studios, and that it's not been implemented in any game. So then it's okay so far.
I mean,
I'd say.
I know, but like it's Activision, so it's a publisher for starters. You can't really. You have to take everything they say with a grain of salt.
Mm.
Yeah, because they also own Blizzard, for example, so they could just say that Blizzard did this.
Yeah, they could, but another thing that really hit me that just I think underlines how you just can't trust some publishers is that they've come out with Cold War 2 is just launched, and you can't buy the supply drops yet, and everything in the supply drops is cosmetic only, no upgrades, no special guns, nothing like that
for now.
For now. And a lot of people, I personally was just like, well, obviously we're going to be able to buy them soon, but that's fine if it's cosmetic only. But also they're obviously going to add guns because they've done that for the past 2 or 3 years.
2 or 3 years.
They're going to do it again.
Cosmetic only. And then it's, you want to buy a gun that like kills 5 more people than you used to? Well, then that'll cost you $15.
Exactly. Except it may be a lot more than $15 because you don't know if you're going to fucking get that.
Exactly. It's Activision, and it will happen.
Yeah.
But you know how you got the old data miners on PC. They've been having a look in the game files, and apparently they found 6 primary weapons and 2 secondary weapons that aren't in the game. They're not actually in the game, but they're in the files.
Ah.
Exactly.
I'm glad I did not buy World War II.
The thing is, right now, I'm kind of glad I did because I'm really enjoying it. But I just, it's a return to form. It's got good gameplay, but I'm just sitting here like, why do you have to ruin everything, Activision? Why can't you just let a game be a game? Why can't you just sell it off it being a good game? Because it's a Call of Duty game. It's going to make so much money.
But it's never enough, and that's the way these companies work. They could make X amount of money, but they always want more.
Yeah, it's like Jim Sterling always says, like, it's a video game publisher. They don't want some of the money. They don't want enough money. They don't want enough money to make lots of profit. They want all of the money.
And that's why we should like buy things from other publishers, such as CD Projekt Red, for example.
CD Projekt Red is one of the only sort of... Well, they're self-published, aren't they, really? They're a sort of developer and publisher. They publish themselves, but I mean, anybody who's played The Witcher 3 will know it's a fucking incredible game.
Yeah, and they're also proving like all other publishers wrong with like those who say that we need microtransactions, but they actually don't, because CD Projekt Red has proven them wrong.
I mean, the closest thing they did, the only corporate tactic they did, basically, sort of post launch content, was literally they made 2 fresh, massive expansions. And these, I haven't played either of these expansions because I haven't actually got through Witcher 3 yet. And I mean, Blood and Wine is meant to be just massive. Is it Blood and Wine or is it the other one? Yeah, it's meant, and that's 30 hours. That's a fuck ton longer than the base Call of Duty campaign, which is like 4 hours at best. And it's just like, that's a DLC. That's a £20 DLC on top of that. And I just think, why can't other publishers do that?
Because they're greedy.
They are greedy.
Usually the answer.
And I mean, I can't wait for when they release Cyberpunk 2077, because that, I'm just guessing, will be a bit like a futuristic Witcher 3, and I just can't deal with these greedy publishers just taking games and just fucking ruining them.
Yeah, same. So what I did was I stopped buying from those people. So the only game I'm going to buy in the near future will be Cyberpunk. Nothing else, because they don't deserve it.
Also, another thing that really does prove publishers wrong is, what was the name of the developer? Ninja Theory, I think the name of it is, who made Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice. Yes, that's it. Because they're an independent developer, but they made this game that, I mean, I haven't played it yet, but I've just seen praise all over the internet for it.
Nothing the same. It's all been.
And it costs like 25 quid or 20 quid.
Not that bad.
You know, it's got a whole lot more content than a lot of, and it's so much more polished and just brilliant storytelling, and that a whole lot better than a load of other AAA games, or supposedly AAA games.
That's the thing with AAA games. I think they saw their peak in 2012, 2013. I think they're just going downhill now.
Yeah, because they're just getting greedy and
by new ideas. Exactly.
I tend to disagree, because I just got Mario Odyssey, and I think that game is absolutely beautiful. There's no microtransactions, and you can tell Nintendo put a lot of time into it.
That's the thing about Nintendo, though. It's with Nintendo. It's a what's it? How do you say? It doesn't follow the other publishers.
Nintendo tends to stick very family friendly, no microtransactions. Everything we do 99% of the time is decent, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, like
so you can't compare like Activision to Nintendo. That doesn't work.
Exactly. The worst thing Nintendo's done in recent memory is, in my opinion, is they released a season pass for Breath of the Wild. But to be honest, at this point, I don't really care too much about season passes. I don't buy them myself, but if you want to buy a season pass, I mean, it's up to you. And they've put way too little storage on the Switch. That 32 gig is kind of ridiculous. I mean, if you guys have heard about, they're releasing LA Noire, which is, I've never played it, but apparently a very, very good Rockstar game, sort of murder mystery sort of thing. And they're releasing that on the Switch. And it's something like a 26 gigabyte download, I think. And the Switch's software already takes up something like 6 gigabytes of storage. So you'll need a micro SD slot to be able to fit LA Noire. If you're just going to get the online download, if you're just going to have a software copy, you need an SD card.
So at least it has an SD card port.
Fair. That's true.
Big up Nintendo, either one.
Nintendo, at least they make good games, I guess.
Marginally better and no microtransactions. There we go.
Yes, at least.
So, there was one last one. Oh yeah, there was another topic I was just thinking about. So, Paris Games Week, I think, was this week, and it's wrapped up recently. Right. And I know at least one of you in this call doesn't really follow the game industry much, but a load of people got very worked up about the Sony press conference.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I saw that. Wait, what was that about?
Well, you know, they just released a load more gameplay for different games, and I think they announced 1 or 2 games. Oh, they announced a sort of samurai game by the people who made it in what's it called? In Infamous, that's it. Guys who made Infamous, making a samurai sort of game, which looks pretty cool. I think it's gonna be open world or something. I'm just hoping they don't fuck that up with microtransactions. But 2 of their games that they showed off, 2 of the trailers they showed off, were criticised majorly. and the second one was Last of Us Part 2, which I've watched the trailer for, and there was beginning of the trailer during the press conference. There was no like age warning or anything like that, or a warning that it could contain graphic violence or anything. And I could tell you, the trailer was pretty graphic. Like
Maybe
it was.
They just forgot the thing.
I guess they must have, but a lot of people, and I understand why people are getting pissed off, because there's literally a part where someone pins like a woman down and starts smashing her arm with a freaking hammer, and it's not even like it cuts away. You just literally see someone smashing someone's elbow with a hammer, and makes you a bit sort of squeamish. But the fact that people get pissed off is because there was only one mature content warning right at the beginning of the press conference, and there was nothing leading up to the actual trailer. And I mean, they've covered their asses by putting the actual the warning at the beginning of the press conference.
But even so, is that the right way that should have been done? Not really.
They had these games, these sort of family-friendly games, not Little Big Planet, but there was another one that was sort of Little Big Planet-esque that was very much sort of family-friendly, happy platforming game or something, and there were lots of a few like that. And then they just finish it off with this sort of bloody trailer with some guy hanging from his neck with his guts hanging out of his stomach and stuff like that. It was just a bit... I understand why people are pissed off about it. But they did another trailer for, I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but Detroit Become Human, which is by the developer that made games such as Heavy Rain, I can't remember the other one, Heavy Rain and Fahrenheit and things, which they're light on gameplay, but they're very, very heavy in terms of storytelling. You could call it a walking simulator, I guess, but they're very, very well done games. And this particular one is all about a future where sort of androids are being created to help humans, and there's a great big revolution of androids going on or something. It's very much like Blade Runner or something like that. But
like the Google Pixel 2 kind of thing.
Yeah, that sort of thing. Except they're actual androids just with blue blood. They look like humans. And this trailer had a part... The trailer was all about an android who'd been bought by some drunk guy in a dirty house with his daughter, his young daughter. And basically it's straight up sort of... It shows that the drunken dad is abusive towards the daughter. It doesn't actually show the abuse, but, she's runs upstairs crying, and he chases her with a belt. Ooh. And it shows off that you can choose to go up and defend the daughter or whatever. And it's a heavy hitting trailer, and lots of people getting pissed off that they were showing off such heavy subjects as abuse and that kind of stuff. In my opinion, I think that's fine. Because as far as I'm concerned... Well, no, okay, abuse isn't fine, obviously, but...
Well, yeah. Let's get that one straight.
Let's get that one straight before someone takes me out of context. No, I think showing a trailer like that, or something like that, because there was no actual violence like there was in The Last of Us, except for one part where someone gets shot, but it wasn't graphic, And it's just... I understand. I think the only way video games as an industry and as actual art rather than just products is going to get appreciated and considered that way by the mainstream and the wider population is if games approach touchy subjects and in a certain way. Like I go back to Hellblade, where people were praising that game for its handling of mental health and that kind of stuff, and the fact that I think the main character Senua had psychosis or something. I don't quote me on that. I don't know, but it was approaching these different mental health problems that she had, and she was sort of fighting them in her head or something. But I think games need to start approaching that in a tactful way. And
I don't see the problem with it, as long as you say, they illustrate them in such a way that it's effective and carries across some sort of message to the audience.
Yeah,
and
if it's just
Yeah.
if it's done badly, then
That's
there's going to be a
yeah.
backlash, and there deserves to be a backlash. But
Yeah.
it's
Like
just
No
if
Man's
it's
Sky.
exactly. Well, yeah, No Man's Sky that's a special case. Fucking what's his name? Sean Murray.
Oh my
Sean
God.
Murray. No Man's Lies. Anyway.
But they did make an update for it. What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, actually, I have No Man's Sky because a friend bought it for me for Christmas last year when it was shit. He just bought it for me, and I think on Steam, and the message was something along the lines of, "Oh, have the shittest game on the market. Merry
Nice.
Christmas." And I was just like, "Thanks, dude. I think." Anyway, yeah, it's just as long as it's approached properly and done well,
Yeah.
then that sort of thing needs to happen, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, because it's like, especially as you say with mental health issues, it's very much caged away, and occasionally they'll shed light on it and bring it up in things, but it shouldn't be treated as a touchy subject. And people, like, yes, you've got to be careful with the way you address it, but it shouldn't be something that's like, oh, be careful kind of thing.
Yeah, I think, and also the only way that games are going to be actually considered not, a child's game when they're younger sort of thing, and got to muck about with it. Just when you have some free time, when they're actually going to be considered on the same level as sort of really good films and TV shows and things like that. Is if they actually hit these subjects well and actually make them have a message behind them. And that's something that I know, I don't remember the name of the developer, and it really annoys me, but they did that sort of thing with Heavy Rain was one, because that was all about a father who'd lost a son trying to get his second son back off a serial killer or something like that, and it was a pretty hard-hitting game. So they've handled games really well, and they've made some good ones, and I think the director, David Cage, I think his name is, he knows how to make a game and how to approach things like that, with tact, and I think that's what needs to happen.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, I think I've talked that subject to death.
Well said.
Thank you. And I think Mr. Furry on Roids had a one for us about YouTube, which I had no idea about before now.
Oh yes, so YouTube finally, after years of silence, have come out about the problem about the YouTube sub box. So they finally addressed it on Twitter. And sorry, I'll just gotta look for the tweet right now.
And Bullocks Gaming will also put the thing on the screen.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I
Yeah.
shall. Shit,
Write it
editing.
down, by the
Okay.
way.
Editing, that's what
I will have to write that down because I will fucking forget it. If I
Yeah,
don't.
just gotta make sure. Don't forget to put that on the screen. So you guys talk. I'll look for this.
Intermission.
And they said, we're aware of an issue causing some videos to not appear in your subscriptions feed, and we're working to fix it.
Okay, good. All right, so my opinion on this is it's about damn time, because it's been 2 years of this happening, and it gets kind of annoying after every video to say, yeah, make sure you turn on notifications so you don't miss when I upload, because YouTube doesn't have their shit together.
Thing is, though, the way they worded this, it seemed like it was just a new temporary issue. I don't think they fixed the big thing yet.
Oh, probably not. Oh,
But
when are
that's
they ever going
always
to fix
YouTube.
anything?
They repress the big issues and try and cover the fact they're repressing the big issues
Oh, yeah.
by bringing
No,
out
they just
other
don't have a PR
unnecessary
person.
things.
It's sad. I look at Casey Neistat's Twitter, and it's always just him and YouTube beefing now.
Is it? I
is,
saw a tweet a while ago.
Respond to him now, which is it's nice that they're finally responding, but it's too
Did
late.
you see that tweet when there was someone doing like some kind of nice thing with donating money to stuff, and YouTube decided to.
Oh yeah, that was Casey Neistat.
monetize it?
Casey Neistat, yes,
Oh,
I
donating to the
replied and retweeted that tweet because I thought it was utter fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
And I saw this because loads of people have retweeted it. I don't follow Casey Neistat personally, but I'd seen this tweet and I was just like, because it was for the
It was for the Vegas shooting
hurricane.
victims.
Oh,
For the hurricane.
I think it was for a hurricane earlier in a few months, probably about a month ago now. There was a hurricane, and I think it was in a poorer country, and it had completely like decimated this island or something. And so Casey Neistat had made a video asking people to donate to a Just Giving page or something like that, and just so they could send the money to that place and just set up some projects over there, and it was demonetized. No, it wasn't demonetized. It was age restricted or something like that, and I can't quite remember what happened to it, but it's something fucking stupid, and it's just like, and YouTube had actually replied to it.
And they said, it's our protocol to not monetize, tragedies or bad things that have happened. And, that's all well and good. But then they provided some examples of Jimmy Kimmel and some of these other big talk shows that are always on the trending page, and all of them have ads, which it's very hypocritical. It's
just so stupid.
That. Why you lied directly to our faces, and it's... Why?
It's because they're worried that Jimmy Kimmel, his videos make so much fucking money because of all the views they get, and they don't want to lose that out on that money. And it's just like, it can't be a sort of two. There can't be two standards.
No,
it's got to be one thing
for one person, one thing for another, or because income is the end goal. It should be one step for everything, and no people should be picked out.
Yeah, it's so stupid. Oh yeah, I see Vincent's linked my tweet, which I think I literally just put utter fucking BS.
The thing is, if you click on the link, they actually removed the tweet you quoted.
Yeah, it says account suspended.
Okay, then that could have been something else.
Okay, I'm gonna click the original. Oh fucking hell!
I couldn't.
No, it is there. Okay, that's good.
Okay, speaking of suspended accounts. Twitter is bullshit. I just got my account suspended not too long ago.
Nope.
For a tweet I made as a joke, like 8 months ago, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you threatened someone." And no, I was just tweeting. It was a link to one of my videos I made, and it's like, "Oh, kill all white people," because it was something on feminists. And they're like, "Oh yeah, we suspend your Twitter for 24 hours," and it's just bullshit.
Oh my god, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, you're allowed to have ISIS accounts out, but little meme. Now you gotta delete that, suspend that. No one can see memes. Man.
It's very. Oh. The logic of some of these sites really confuses me.
It honestly does.
Oh.
They just seem to have double standards, like a lot of them, for different things. And I mean, Twitter doesn't get talked about so much because it's not the income of a lot of people, whereas YouTube, it's a lot of people's income and their only source of income.
Lol, where ad crisis.
Yeah.
Hey.
Like, I mean, I don't make any fucking money from my videos, obviously, because I never upload for starters. But
same.
My main channel, where this is obviously going to go up, I don't have anything monetized because I'm not part of a network and I don't have enough views and subscribers for that. But my other channel, my gaming channel, I am with a network and I did have monetization on there. And I looked at my video manager probably a month ago now, and every other video was yellow.
My entire channel is demonetized, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because yours is political.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm never going back to it. I think, even though
I know.
Make a thing.
I know my old channel, which it was all demonetized, everything yellow except this one clickbait video I made as like a joke, and that was monetized. Which it's sad to see how their algorithm works.
Like, I honestly think a lot of bigger YouTubers, they're probably gonna. I mean, a load of YouTubers making Patreon pages and stuff like that, and that's the only thing that's like sustaining a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I honestly almost think there needs to be another website. Another website needs to come in and just say, we stand for what YouTube once was, and it needs to have the same polish as YouTube, which it'll be very hard to do because there are a lot of parts of YouTube that have been built up over many years. Yes, there's bullshit with it, but
I think the only thing it needs is just some competition, because YouTube has a monopoly, and that's not good for anyone.
Mm.
I mean, I know there was like Vimeo that tried to, but that just didn't work out.
Like Vimeo is the exact same as YouTube, but just like with porn.
Pretty much.
Exactly.
It used to be, but now all the adverts I've seen for Vimeo now are just like they're now marketing it as, oh, if you're a website, you can store video on here so other people can watch it if you link it to them or whatever. They're not trying to be a YouTube competitor anymore, which is bad because they should market themselves as a YouTube competitor. Then we'd have some competition, but we don't. There is no competition for YouTube, and so YouTube could just do whatever the fuck they want and not give a shit about what the creators say.
Well, as
But
soon
it
as
is a
YouTube
company, so-
realizes it's a sinking ship, will
Yeah,
it be
but
too
What,
late?
what YouTube I don't think realizes is they're a company and they need to make their money, which is fine. But the way they make their money is through their creators. And when you're pissing off your creators because they're going to other platforms, you're going to lose your money. So it's a very hard balance to find between, keeping your advertisers happy and your creators happy.
That's the problem
Yeah.
they've been having since the start. They barely cut a profit every year. They're really struggling with this.
Oh yeah.
They make
But
like
the thing
1
is-
billion in profits, which is nothing.
Well, the amount of
They're owned by Google, and Google's just multi-billion-dollar company. So
Yeah, Google is probably throwing money at them because they wouldn't survive on their own, I think.
no, I don't think
If
so.
they were a
At the
separate
moment,
company,
No.
they'd be dead by now.
Or bought by Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there
IKEA
someone...
AB added you as a friend. What the hell? Okay.
Is there someone
Is
trying to
someone
get
just-
into your room or something,
Are
Anna?
you being
What's going
rude right
on?
now, Anna?
No, don't. It's inconvenient fireworks.
Holler
Oh,
twice.
fireworks.
Apologise.
Fuck's sake. Yeah, fair. There was
25th of
fireworks going on
November. UK people.
near to me as well. Christ. Right. Unless anybody else has any other topics, I think that's pretty much.
No,
I
I
think
think
we've
we've
pretty
got
much got
everything
everything.
covered. Yeah.
I think right now it's kind of a slow time
Yeah.
for drama.
I was gonna say there isn't much drama and stuff going on in terms of
Nah, because
Yeah.
we're a bit
YouTube and
late.
shit.
It's taken us
Yeah.
a while to get this
Bit
together.
late.
Can someone just call out Ricegum so we have something to talk about, please?
Please.
Yes, please. Just like someone cause some drama.
We need something to get views off. Come on now.
Anyway, well, if
Exactly.
that's it,
Yep.
All
I
right.
think we'll just end the podcast there then. Thank you
Thanks
all
for
for
watching.
watching so much. Thanks for coming on, Anna, Furry on
Anytime.
Roids, and
Love you.
Vincent. I'm forever going to call
Thank
you
you.
Furry because that video is the best video on earth, and I'm never going to be able to raise the picture of you climbing onto your chair and going meow out of my brain ever. That is never leaving my brain. Anyway.
If you don't put that in the video, I'm going to kill you.
Okay.
I swear, I didn't do that for nothing.
Anyway,
You did it for the
Finish off the-
podcast.
yeah, I will shove that in at the end. That will be the end cards. That will be
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
on
Oh.
repeat.
Sure to know
On
that's what
repeat.
you do,
It's
or
getting
else
a
you might
million
forget
views.
it.
Mwah.
As long as you don't copyright strike the fucking podcast. Anyway,
Hey,
You might
watch yourself.
thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you in the next video. I will link everybody's Twitters and YouTube channels for those who have YouTube channels in the description. And I
Don't
hope
think mine.
really you don't want me to. All right.
If you don't want cancer, don't watch my YouTube. Okay.
But if you're into cancer, then he's got the best cancer around.
Best cancer.
Great.
Okay, we'll see you all in the next podcast. Hopefully, we'll be in the next couple of weeks rather than the next couple of months.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
but realistically, no.
Realistically,
Don't get
it
your
probably.
hopes up.
Don't get your hopes up. Anyway, thanks, guys.
Jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. In the jungle, the quiet jungle, the lion sleeps tonight.
Meow.
XD-rar, nuzzles.
I don't think I've ever wanted to die more than in this situation right now.